Hi YouTubers, welcome back. So this is the video that I had talked about last week about it being a little bit different. So I'm going to share with you guys all of my favorite things that I like to use in a lot of my videos. But first of all, I have to throw that disclaimer out there. Nothing is sponsored, not endorsed by any of the products that I show you today. These are completely my own opinion. They're my own preference, and I just want to share them with you and let you know what I use because I don't always fully explain it in the videos when I'm making them. So just throwing that out there, not sponsored, not endorsed. I'm not paid in any way to show you these products. They are my own opinion, my own preference. So that being said, let's get right into it. And I will share my very first favorite ingredient. All right, so my very first ingredient that I absolutely love using in so many of my videos is vanilla. It's very classic. It's in pretty much every baking recipe. It's one of my favorites. It really is. And I have a variety of ways of using it. So first of all, there's the liquid form. I get it at Costco just because I can get it in a good size, better price. Anyway, I get mine at Costco. I also really, really love using clear vanilla. And my reason for this one, and I really got to find it in a much bigger bottle, is because it doesn't taste like normal vanilla. It actually, well, to me, it kind of tastes like vanilla ice cream, which is why I love using it. I also love that it's clear. So if I'm making a white icing, it's not going to change the color of it. So those two are my liquid vanillas. Okay. I also have vanilla beans. I love vanilla beans so much. And for Christmas, my husband got me a whole pack of them, which is amazing because I use them a lot. When I run out, I just run down to the store and I can buy one. One vanilla bean in our grocery store here costs $10. So I recommend buying them on Amazon and getting a whole pack of them. I use them quite a bit, so these won't last too much longer. And I'm going to show you guys what to do with them. So a lot of my videos, I talk about vanilla sugar. I also talk about using a vanilla cream. So first of all, the vanilla sugar is one of the vanilla beans, actually more than one. They are sliced. I take out the seeds and I put everything into the sugar. And the sugar it absorbs the flavor for one, but it also dries them out. So they are very brittle, which is very cool. You just have to be careful when you are using your sugar that you pick all of these pieces out. You'll notice in some of my videos where I'm like trying to pick something out of like the eggs. This is usually what I'm picking out is pieces of the vanilla bean pod. And all I do to make this is I take some normal sugar, put this in, and I work it with my hands until I feel like the vanilla beans are all mixed in, put it all in a big jar, and then it is ready to use. And I just keep refilling it, keep adding more sugar, adding some more vanilla beans to it. Eventually, I'll take out the vanilla beans that are dried out in here and just replace them with some new ones. So that's how I make vanilla sugar. So let me show you how to actually, I guess, prepare a vanilla bean. And I'm going to show you guys how to cut it all up and then mix it into my whipping cream to make vanilla whipping cream. All right, so you take a vanilla bean and you take a really sharp paring knife and you are going to slice it all the way down the center. And try to slice it all the way through. There we go, like that, so that you can open it. Okay, so then what you do, I'm just going to cut it in half. separate it. And then I'm going to take my knife and get in there and scrape out all those vanilla bean seeds. See if I can focus it here for you. There you go. So those are the seeds. And what I'm going to do is take my cream and just put them right in. So I'm going to do that to each one of these. All right, so once I have them scraped out, I'm going to take this and put it right in there as well. All right, I'm going to finish this up and then I will show you what to do next. All right, so now that my vanilla bean is put into my cream, I'm just going to give it a little whisk or stir it, mix it until it's all, you'll see the little vanilla beans spreading throughout your cream. So I use about 1 vanilla bean for 2 cups of cream. If you want it a little stronger, add a little bit more. If you go with less, then it's less flavor. We don't want that. All right, so when I go to use my vanilla cream, when I know I'm going to be using it, I like to make it up at least a day before, just to give it lots of time for that vanilla bean to really infuse with the cream. And normally, if you're cooking it, so if you're going to be heating it, you don't have to let it sit for a day or two. You could just put it in, mix it, put it in your pot, and then start heating it. But I am going to be using this for a cold recipe. I'm using it for some frosting on a cake. So it's not going to be heated. So I'm making it a few days ahead of time to really give those vanilla beans time to infuse. Now, when I do go to use it and I pour it into my recipe, make sure you either pour it through a sieve just to catch your vanilla bean pods, or just kind of pick through your cream and take them all out. You don't need those in the recipe. They're just adding flavor to your cream right now. All right, so vanilla cream is ready. It'll go into the fridge until I am ready to use it. So that is vanilla, okay? That is my favorite flavoring that I use the most in my recipes is vanilla. If you do not have vanilla beans, don't worry about it. You don't have to use them. It's just my personal preference. I love using them. If you don't have it, and I am telling you in a recipe, oh, I used vanilla sugar, I used vanilla cream, whichever it may be, you always have normal vanilla. Just add a couple splashes of that, and that'll do exactly the same thing. So the vanilla, I had a wonderful subscriber tell me one day that I should just have a t-shirt that says, vanilla, measure with your heart. And I couldn't agree more. Normally recipes call for like a teaspoon or 2. If you watch my videos carefully, I do not usually measure my vanilla. I just pour it in. But if you need measurements, then of course, either measure with your heart or add 1 or 2 teaspoons. So that is vanilla, okay? That's vanilla in a nutshell. Let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about coconut for a minute. Okay, coconut, you'll notice in some of my baking recipes, I will replace the milk with coconut milk. And I have now come to realize, and I feel so sorry, and I feel bad that I've never fully explained coconut milk. And I realize that a lot of people don't use it, or don't know how to use it, or what to expect when you buy a can of coconut milk. There are several different kinds, okay? Lots of different brands of coconut milk, just like there are different brands of coffee cream or butter, different brands. I don't have a favorite. I kind of go with whatever is on sale. Coconut milk, like this one, when I shake it, it sounds solid. But then there's this one, when I shake it, it sounds like liquid. Some are going to be more liquidy than others, and that's just the way it is. This one also says unsweetened. This one doesn't say anything. There's 1 gram of sugar in it and 1 gram of sugar. So really, they're both unsweetened. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to show you what happens when you open a can. There's also different types of coconut, like there's coconut cream. It's, I guess, thicker, and it's no sweeter. It's just, I guess, thicker. And I have just bought a coconut whipping cream. I have never used it. I don't know what to expect. When I bought it, the lovely person at the store was saying she loves this and it whips up quite nicely. So I'm really looking forward to finding something to just eat this with. But besides the point, I'm going to show you guys what to expect when you buy a can of coconut milk and you open it. All right, so let's open it. This is what the coconut milk looks like. That's right. Nothing is coming out right now. It has solidified inside the can. And a lot of people don't realize that it's okay. This is normal. Solidified coconut milk is normal. All right, let's grab. Oh, I forgot a spatula. Give me a minute. All right, I'm back. So take a spatula and a bowl or measuring cup and pour it in. So there is a lot of the coconut water in there. So you can see that it is liquidy, but there's a big chunk of solidified coconut. All you need to do is take a whisk, a spoon, a spatula, whatever you would like, and you're just going to mix it. That's it. Ooh, I'm making a bit of a mess. So just whisk it all together and recombine it all into liquid. There we go. Coconut milk is ready to be used. Very simple, very easy to use. It's also a wonderful substitution. I used to make my coconut pudding cake with just normal milk. And one day I didn't have milk, but I had a can of coconut milk. So I switched it up and it was fantastic. I absolutely love how it turned out. So that is what to expect when you open a can of coconut milk. And I'm so sorry, I've never explained that fully in any of my videos. And I have been told not a lot of people know that. So there you go. It is now explained. Again, like this one, you can hear that it is already liquid. Of course, when you get a can, shake it up really good. That'll help when you go to pour it into your measuring cup. It won't be as solid. So that's another little tip. My mom has told me she has taken her coconut milk and she has frozen it. Oh my gosh. She has frozen it. So you can pour it into little ice cube trays and stuff and freeze it. Good way to save it if you're not using the whole can. All right. That was coconut milk, coconut cream, coconut whipped cream, coconut. Let's move on to the next thing. All right. Let's talk about flavors. So besides using vanilla and coconut as flavoring, I absolutely love my almond extract. It is definitely up there on one of my favorites. It's a very small bottle, but this bottle lasts me a really long time because it is so strong and so potent. A lot of times I will only use about 1/8 of a teaspoon, maybe a 1/4 of a teaspoon. I find it very overpowering. not necessarily in a bad way, just it's a strong flavor. So you'll see me using it, and usually I tell you like a tiny little bit, as in like an eighth of a teaspoon. Some of the recipes I have researched, people are using like a full teaspoon of this, and I can't even imagine what that would taste like. That would be so strong. So that is one of my favorites as well. Just wanted to throw that out there to you guys. All right, next thing, let's talk about thickeners. As in, if I am making an apple pie or any sort of fruit pie where I'm trying to thicken it, I keep instant tapioca on hand. And this box has lasted me a very, very long time. I'm sure it has expired by now, but I still keep it and I still use it. And when I make an apple pie or I used to make Asian pear pie a lot, I would use this, a couple tablespoons, and it thickens it beautifully without adding any extra flavor or changing the taste too much, but it works really, really well. I'll have to try and do a couple more pie videos where I'm using it and show you guys, I guess, a little bit more of how it works. But this one is amazing for thickening pie fillings. Then I also use as a thickening agent, or more like a stabilizer, I use instant vanilla pudding, not necessarily vanilla, instant pudding mixes. And in the US, I got this one in the US and it says 0 sugar on it. In Canada, they're starting to say 0 sugar. Most of them say fat-free. And with the fat-free, I realized when I turned it over and actually read the label, there's no sugar in this one. So I just look for the fat-free, double check the label on it, and it's usually 0 sugar. You don't have to use 0 sugar. I just started using it a while back and I really loved it. I don't notice a difference in the taste at all when I make them. Not that I'm usually making them to eat pudding. I don't. But what I did find, like this is white chocolate. When I make my whipped cream frosting and I want to stabilize it, I will add a couple tablespoons of this in and it stabilizes it so my whipped cream frosting doesn't melt all over the place. It is amazing. When I made my cream puffs, same thing. Add a couple tablespoons into your whipped cream before adding it into your cream puff, and it'll keep its shape and not go all over the place. The other thing is, if you use different flavors like pistachio, that adds a really nice flavor into your cream puffs. So just saying, not only is it functional as a stabilizer, it is also flavorful. So those are some other things that you'll notice. I'm throwing like a teaspoon or a tablespoon in just to help it hold its shape or just add a little bit more flavor into something. You don't have to go with sugar-free. Go with regular if you want. That's just, I like using the sugar-free one. Okay, so those are like thickeners and a little bit of flavor in there as well. Let's move on to the next ingredient. All right, so my next favorite ingredient that I like using is flavored coffee syrups, okay? And these are, again, they're sugar-free. I like my sugar-free stuff. As much as I like baking and eating like full-on sugar everything, I really do enjoy sugar-free stuff too. These ones, I use them for flavor. So they're another flavor that I enjoy. When I make a little bit of whipped cream, instead of adding vanilla, I will add this maple bourbon syrup to it, just like a teaspoon, because it can be very strong. I find it very strong. Or like this one is the pumpkin caramel for the fall. They add such a nice flavor without adding extra sugar or anything to it. I buy them at like Winners, HomeSense, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, places like that is usually where I find them. These are Mateo's, and you could buy other brands. I think there's Skinny. I think there's Torani, Da Vinci. Yeah, there's all sorts of different ones. Just pick whatever is your favorite. These two happen to be my favorite. Of course, I also love the Torani ones when I can get them. Yeah, that is coffee syrup. Not only useful in your coffee, making it extra delicious when you make that latte, but they are also great for baking. Either one, I will put them in pumpkin pie as well. It adds such a nice burst of flavor into it. It is fantastic. So that's another flavoring that I like to use and where to find it. Okay. Let's see. I have two more ingredients. Okay. Two more ingredients to show you guys. All right. So I have been using a lot of sugar substitutes lately. I'm really trying to cut back on my sugar a little bit and not necessarily eat healthier, just eat a little less sugar. So I really, really enjoy the Swerve product. Again, this is my own personal preference and opinion on these. I like these products. I can get it in the brown sugar, I can get it in the powdered sugar, and then in regular as well. And they are the 0 calories. They say you can use a 1-to-1 ratio that you would if you were using regular sugar. I don't fully agree with that. I'll use brown sugar as an example. If I were making my apple dip, when I make it, I will sometimes add about a half a cup of regular brown sugar into my cream cheese when I'm making it, about a quarter cup to a half a cup. With this one, I only add about 1.5 tablespoons of it. It's also quite expensive, so I don't use the 1-to-1 ratio because I feel like I would go bankrupt trying to afford these. So I use much smaller amounts, and I have found that they work really well. I really like how they work. Like I said, apple dip, I use 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar substitute, and it turned out perfectly. I loved it. My husband didn't even notice the difference when I did that. The powdered sugar, I don't use it a whole lot. I haven't really put it to the full test. I haven't made a 100% sugar-free cake where I take this and turn it into the icing, like a buttercream icing. I have not actually tried that, so I don't know how well that works, but I do use it in small things. Like when I make some whipped cream, I'll put a tablespoon in it just to add that sweetness. That's kind of it. This one, the regular sugar, I do use it to replace white sugar once in a while. Not a whole lot. It's usually recipes that require just small amounts. But if I am using a sugar substitute, these are my go-tos. My mom does use, she likes the monk fruit products. It's just not something I use a whole lot. I don't care for the way it mixes into different recipes, into different things that I'm baking. But that is an option. There's lots of other options out there if you're looking for sugar substitutes. I think there's Splenda and monk fruit and Swerve. And anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. You just have to get out there and check your grocery store. Okay, now the other sugar, and this is 100% full-on sugar, is maple sugar. I absolutely love this one. I use it very sparingly because it is a little expensive, but I really, really like this one for adding a little extra maple flavor into something. I don't use it a whole lot, like I said, so when I do use it and I'm saying, oh, add some maple sugar, this is what I'm talking about. I have a bag of actual maple sugar. And of course, if you don't have this, don't worry. Grab the maple syrup that's probably sitting in your fridge and just add a tablespoon or 2 of that, or more if you prefer more, like a half a cup. But just because you don't have maple sugar and it's something I'm saying to add, there are alternatives like regular maple syrup, or there's even little bottles like this of maple extract that will add the flavor as well, or maple bourbon coffee syrup. There is usually an alternative that you can always use. All right, so that is everything that I absolutely love using in my videos. All right, so I hope I have given you a good overview of some of my favorite products, some of my favorite ingredients, how to use them, what to expect when you open them, and just kind of get to know sort of my pantry staples that I like keeping in the house all the time. And I hope I explained them a little better. So now going forward, when I talk about, using some vanilla sugar, you'll know what I mean. And that you don't have to have vanilla beans to have vanilla sugar. Just add some extra vanilla, or, I hope I explained it a little better for everybody. Okay. I know this video was a little different, and I really appreciate you guys sticking it out with me through it. Remember to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell. It was fun. I kind of enjoyed doing this one. It was different. I like talking about all of my, my favorite ingredients and how to use them and why I enjoy them, because they are delicious and easy and fun to use. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. All right, now I have a whole bunch of vanilla cream and coconut milk to use. So I better get baking and make some more recipes to show you guys. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys all for my next recipe.